And hello guys. So today I start back school again. Walden and I are trying to set up to try to get some weather boosted Kyogres today since it is rather rainy. It's been windy in game pretty much all day for me, so hopefully we can get some rainy weather after I get out of class. And then we're going to go home and we're going to talk a little bit about the Boulder League. I'm trying to think about how I want to structure this video. I'm going to go in, do my class, all of my class, and then we'll pick it up from there. Okay, so while we are sitting here and waiting on Weldon and Dylan to get here, I thought I'd try to kind of take advantage of not having anything to do for the next few minutes. So I did want to go ahead and talk a little bit about the Boulder League and just Sylph GG in general, kind of like what it is, how to basically prepare for it. I personally haven't gone through and set up everything on the website yet, so I can't really attest to that yet. I'm going to go ahead and do a video on it very soon because I'm going to have to go through it and do it myself to get registered for this weekend. Basically, if you go over to sylph.gg, which I will put a link in the description, and here it is on the screen. Basically, so sylph.gg is a website where all of the tournaments are going to be hosted. On the homepage here, you can see at the very top, they do announce that the Boulder League is the current tournament that's happening at the moment. We'll come back to that in just a second. So if you look over the sylph.gg's website, it tells you a little bit about themselves, and it has a lot of frequently asked questions at the bottom. I highly encourage you to look that stuff up and get well versed in what the frequently asked questions are, so that way you'll kind of know a little bit more than the person that doesn't read. That's stupid. Check out the FAQs. They're a good resource for the generally asked questions. Now at the top here, we're going to run over to the Boulder Cup and click on more info. Basically, the Boulder Cup is a tournament held by the Sylph League, and they're going to be running from January 6th to January 31st. Basically, what is the Boulder Cup? It says each month the Sylph Arena holds a month-long cup, a themed PvP tournament that provides tens of thousands of trainers around the world a specially designed competitive challenge with a chance to prove they are the very best. The Sylph Arena is the world's largest global network for ranked Pokemon Go tournament play. During the Cup, which is held from the 6th to the 31st, local Sylph League communities host and record a special tournament that is free using the sylph.gg tools. Wins and losses in this local tournament affect your player rank and on local and global leaderboards, and may eventually even earn you an invitation to compete at regionals or even a world championship at 2019's Go Fest and Safari Zone. So that's actually a big deal. If you are really into PvP, then you can get into this and you can be good not only in your local community, but you can also go to regionals and then possibly even be able to go to worlds. That's a big deal. So the Boulder Cup rules. This is the important part, and this is kind of the whole premise of making this video. The Boulder Cup has a few special rules designed to provide added challenge and fun that differ from standard PvP combat in Pokemon Go. So competitors will bring a team of 6 Pokemon and register them before the tournament begins. All battle parties used must be comprised of these 6 Pokemon, meaning that you're going to register these 6 Pokemon through sylph.gg's website. You're only going to be able to use those 6 Pokemon. You can't change them out. You can't, like, I'm going to register this exact Skarmory, this exact IV, stat-wise, CP-wise, moveset-wise, all of that's registered. You cannot change from that Skarmory. You can't choose a different Skarmory just because you have Skarmory on your team. That's not how that works. You have to register those 6 Pokemon and use only those 6 Pokemon. Only Pokemon with a maximum CP of 1500 are permitted in the Cup, meaning that it's basically Great League. Only Pokemon with at least one of the following types are permitted. Interesting part. rock, ground, fighting, and steel. So you have 4 different types to choose from, and each one of those types can be used as long as they are attached to the Pokemon in some way. Like Breloom. Breloom is a grass and fighting type Pokemon. It doesn't have to be pure rock, pure ground, pure fighting, pure steel, or a combination of the 4. It just has to have one of the 4. That's why Skarmory is good, because Skarmory has steel and flying. Breloom is good because he has grass and fighting. Whiscash is going to be good because it's water and ground. So as long as it has one of the 4, you're going to be okay. And then arena rules will also be followed for all other participants. We'll come back to that in a second. So how do you compete? Registration for the January Cup will become available to local community leaders on the 6th when the 2019 competitive season officially begins and ranked play commences. Find a Sylph League community near you via the Sylph League community map here and ask if they will be participating in the Boulder Cup. So you actually have to reach out, and usually those are Discord communities that you're going to be reaching out to. You're going to say, hey, I'd like to compete in this, and they'll register you to actually be a competitor. And then you have some frequently asked questions, which I encourage you to definitely read over, but we're not going to go through those in this video. So really fast, let's check out these arena rules. So the simple version is very, very easy to understand. So there's going to be 9 rules, and then they go into great detail underneath those 9. But we're just going to read over the simplified version, and then I encourage you to definitely go through and read all of the actual rules so that you're well versed before you compete in any of these tournaments. So party selection, I already touched on this a little bit. You may only use the 6 individual Pokemon registered when entering the tournaments. Multiples of the same species must be registered as individual entries in your team of 6. So if I'm going to take 2 Breloom, then I have to register 1 Breloom with its exact CP, and then I have to register a second Breloom with its exact CP, and then I'm allowed to take 4 more Pokemon. That's how that's going to work. No TMs, no swapping additional Pokemon within a species. If your opponent did not follow this rule, please provide screenshots of this breach to tournament staff. So you can't TM right in the middle of the tournament. You can't do that. What you register is what you use. End of story. If you do find somebody cheating, using kind of like abusing this rule, definitely screenshot it. Definitely take it to a Sylph League. I forgot what they call themselves. Take it to a staff member and make sure that they're aware, because that's definitely against the rules. Great League, all battles must be fought in Great League. Pure, easy, simple. It's a best 2 out of 3. Opponents will battle best 2 out of 3 to determine a winner, and opponents may not collude. Basically, you're going to have to battle, and you can't just say, oh, well, if I win the first one, can I win the second one? Like, there's nothing like that. Like, whatever actually is the outcome of the battle, you're going to pretty much do that. I have read through a little bit of these in-depth ones, and a lot of times they're going to ask for screenshots of journals, video evidence, something like that, to make sure that if you caught somebody cheating, then you don't get yourself in trouble, because in the worst case scenario, if there's no proof to either side, they're going to award both players a loss. So try to stay on top of your stuff. Ties. In the event of a tie, a rematch will be held until that battle is won. So if, like, it is possible for 2 Pokemon to knock each other out at the same time, if that happens, you're basically just going to replay the match until somebody wins. Disputes. If opponents do not agree on match outcome, journal entries will be reviewed by a staff member. If the dispute is still deemed unresolvable by staff, video evidence must be provided. One or both parties must provide. If no video was recorded, the match will be deemed a loss for both parties. See, that's what I was talking about. Technical issues. Each significant technical issue must be verified by your opponent, and when confirmed, will trigger a rematch by the current battle. If a technical issue prevents successful battle for 10 minutes, the match will be a draw. So if a phone dies, if your tablet dies, whatever happens, if network errors start showing up, if you have really spotty signal, you've got basically 10 minutes to correct your issue and then get right back into it. Otherwise, it's a draw. Professionalism. Competitors are expected to maintain courtesy towards opponents. Harassment, aggression, intimidation, and other inappropriate behaviors will be reported to staff and will result in punitive action. So basically, just be a decent human being. Don't like try to intimidate people, don't threaten people, don't do any of that stuff. Just be cool. Be yourself. Unless yourself is intimidating and threatening. Free to play. All accredited matches must be free to enter. So that's a big one for me. I love the fact that this is a free to participate kind of thing. It does say suggested donations or crowdfunding is acceptable to help the venue cost, but it has to be free to compete. There is no way for them to charge you for that tournament, to compete in that tournament. Staff decisions. All staff decisions are final. If your opponent is a staff member, an additional staff member must basically that's a difficult word for me to read. Basically, a staff member that's competing can't dictate his own match. It has to be an outside, a third party that's actually helping decide if disputes happen or anything like that. If you feel a staff decision warrants appeal, email team@sylph.gg with evidence and it will be reviewed. That way, if you don't agree with the Sylph's issue, like how they resolved it, you can easily just dispute it. I don't know how that's going to go for you, but it's worth a shot if you feel strongly about it. So that is kind of a quick rundown on what the Boulder League is and kind of like what sylph.gg is. If you want to get into this, I definitely encourage you to go to sylph.gg and read up on it. It's going to be really fun seeing how these tournaments end up going. I'm definitely excited to see not only the Boulder Cup, how this weekend turns out, but I'm definitely excited to see the Cascade badge, all of these new badges and stuff. I really am excited to see how the tournaments end up going. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully, we're getting ready to start raids. So hopefully, if you guys enjoyed this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. That's dumb. I don't say that. If you like to like videos, make sure you do that. If you don't, you can be that guy. But if you want to leave a comment, let me know what you have to say down below. And until tomorrow, I will see you guys then.